CISOs, what are they? Who are they? Where do they come from and where they're going to? Phil Cracknell, the CISO of Yale Group, seems to know. Let's go and find out.
So, I'm Phil Cracknell. I'm Global Head of Security and Compliance for Yale Group. So, my day-to-day job, well, it's generally defending the perimeters of Yale Group and Yale's data. So that is our core commodity as an advertising, marketing and directory services business. Data is important to us. We have the traditional defences, but then of course we have another layer of defences that most organisations won't have. So as a user of our services, you'd search for a plumber. That's a legitimate use of our data. But if you searched for a plumber in Glasgow, and then one in Belfast, and then one in Manchester, within 10 seconds of each other, our security would have to look at that transaction carefully, because clearly that's not a normal use of our services. You're not looking for a plumber in each of those locations, you're trying to build a rival database. So there's a depth to our security business. The CISO role's grown. I acted as a CISO many years ago when I worked for an investment bank. And what we've seen is that whole responsibility grow and gather momentum, gather pace, take on wider responsibility for legislation, regulation. It's generally legislation and regulation that have shaped what the role of CISO actually means, dependent upon the type of business you are and which sector you're in. So for example, the financial industry, very hard and fast rules around what their CISO has to do, what his responsibilities might be, what that person's accountability may be for the organisation's assets. Other organisations are a little less focused on what a CISO really is, and so this role is growing at different paces in different sectors. So the balance of skills, the more desirable options for a CISO, I think, would be generally a good understanding of the business first and foremost. So yeah, they need technology skills, but they can acquire them. To understand how a business operates and where its weak points are might help them understand how it could be circumvented and therefore how to protect it. So good risk managers, good solid business understanding, technology background maybe, but not necessarily recent hands-on, and risk management seems to be the prevailing trait within the new CISO role. A good risk manager with rounded security skills will probably go on to make a good CISO. So I think if I got my crystal ball out and had a look into the future, I'd see the CISO role probably morphing into the Chief Risk Officer role. So more of a risk-based approach. The security approach is always this perceived action of securing something, stopping something happen. Whereas the risk is this balanced view of, should we allow it to happen? What's the worst that could take place? What's the impact? And I think that type of approach will shape the role. The regulation and legislation is going to continue to develop. It's going to continue to evolve and shape exactly what we need. But going forward, this sub-board level role of Chief Risk Officer, I think will eventually be the role that the CISO morphs into.